Hello, I'm DeDe. For the next 30 minutes, we'll perform a yoga practice which can create greater flexibility in our hamstrings, which are located in the backs of our thighs. This can help us have better overall mobility in our lower body. It can even help us take care of certain types of low back pain. Does that sound good? Okay, here's what you'll need: a yoga mat with plenty of room around it, a small towel, and as always, some water for hydration. Feel free to take off your shoes and socks for this practice. And remember, always move at your own pace. All right, we're going to begin lying down. So bring yourself down, nice and easy. Lie all the way back. Bring your knees into your chest. Let's hold on to the backs of the thighs. And then we'll keep the shoulders still, and we'll rock from side to side. So the knees go a little bit to one side and a little bit to the other side. So we're going to get right into it, right into our movement. But we're also going to get right into our deep breathing. So start doing your deep breathing right now. Now come back to the center. Circle around through your ankles in one direction and then the other. One direction and then the other. Take your hands away. Let's roll the wrists around in one direction and the other. All right, we'll take one foot down followed by the other foot. Shoulders down. Make sure that you're not looking at me the whole time, that you're looking away and keeping your neck neutral whenever possible. Let's stretch the left leg out straight, and then we'll grab the back of the right leg. Inhale, and as you exhale, pull the right knee in close. Now, strong core muscles brace all the way around your middle as you inhale and switch, and then exhale, draw your left knee in. Do that again. Inhale, stretch out. Exhale, pull the knee in. Now let's bring the arms up when the legs stretch out, and then we'll pull the back of the thigh. We'll do it again. Let your arms go a little bit further. And now we'll start to let the leg that's stretching get a little bit straighter. Just do it as you can. Inhale. And then exhale. Let your palms face in. Are you starting to feel the backs of your legs getting a little bit more limber? Are you starting to feel your shoulders and your hip joints warming up? Now let's try lifting the forehead up toward the knee. Make sure you're exhaling there. If your neck gets tired from doing it this way, you can just leave your head down on the mat like we were doing it. How about two more? Rest your head and shoulders now. Let's hold on once again to the backs of our knees. And once again, we'll circle around in each direction through our ankles, around and around. All right, now let's press one heel up, let it relax. Press the other heel up, flex your foot. Now we'll take our hands along the sides of our thighs and we'll start to angle the legs out just a little bit wider. So you just go as straight as you can. Just straighten your knee as much as you can in this moment. And we can turn the head to look at the stretching leg. All right, come back into the center. One foot down, the other foot down. Now separate the feet, they're wide. The arms are out at your sides. Let's inhale. And on the exhale, the knees go one way and your head turns opposite. And then inhale, center. Exhale, the other direction. So your arms should be out of the way of your legs. They don't have to be way up here, though. If that's not comfortable for your shoulders and chest, keep them lower. All right, and we have one more. Now let's turn all the way over onto our side, all the way over. And then we'll press ourselves up with the arms, and we're coming to our hands and knees now. Feel free to be up on your fists if that works better. Otherwise, you're flat on your palms like this. Make sure wrists are under shoulders and knees are under hips. Now brace through your middle. Inhale. As you exhale, press out through one heel, straightening the leg. And then inhale to come down. Exhale, flex your foot and press out. As you do this, maintain shoulders away from ears. Maintain that strong core. That means all the way around your middle, you're braced. Hello, Baxter. Are you going to help me do this? Why do I not believe that you're going to help me do this? All right, last one. Now let's sit back into child's pose. So feel free to open your knees up wider and stack your fists if that feels better. Otherwise, you can bring your knees in more narrow, stretch your arms out, and let your forehead rest on the mat or anywhere in between. Let's stretch the arms out nice and long. Okay, now we'll just do a few kneeling planks coming back into child's pose. So when you're ready, shoulders away from ears, inhale, moving your head forward, straight line from your knees, and then exhale all the way back. And we'll do it again. All right, now this time we're moving into downward facing dog from full plank. So inhale, tuck your toes, lift your knees. Exhale, downward facing dog. Alternate your heels. We want to get into that lower leg a little bit more, into our calf muscles, into our ankles a bit more, and stretching through our toes as well. All right, now let's try downward facing dog with a wider stance. So that means the feet step out to about the width of your mat. Press your heels down a little bit more if you can. Press forward with your hands as if you were going to stretch the mat out in front of you. And then without bending your knees, shift your hips from side to side. Feel what's happening in your lower body and your upper body simultaneously. Make it feel good. Remember, you're trying to reach your heels toward the mat. That doesn't mean that they're touching the mat, but they might get closer to touching the mat when you have your feet wider. All right, let's come back to center with our body weight now. Step your feet back into about hip joint distance apart. Now pick up your right foot, look forward, and then step your right foot forward. And if you don't get it all the way up, take a second step until it's all the way up. Now you're on your fingertips or your fists, or if you need yoga blocks, you put those under your hands. So here we are in a lunge. Look a little bit forward, drop your hips, inhale, and then as you exhale, don't move your hands, just try to straighten your front leg a little bit. Here we go again. Inhale, bend, looking forward, relax your shoulders, and then exhale, straighten out a little bit. Go again, front knee bends right over the ankle. Last one. Now before we press back to down dog, flatten out your hands, and sometimes it helps if you turn onto the side of your foot in order to slide your foot back. Downward facing dog. Now let's pick up the left foot, look forward, and then step forward. It helps me if I come up on the fingertips of the hand of the side that I'm stepping forward with. Fists or fingertips or palms. Inhale, look forward. Exhale, straighten your front leg a bit, and then repeat. One more like this. Can you feel what's happening in your lower body? Your hips, your hamstrings. Now moving to what's called Prasarita Padottanasana, which is a fancy Sanskrit way of saying wide stance forward fold. So walk your hands around to the right, turn your toes out toward the corners of your mat, bend your knees. Now you may need to have your hands on yoga blocks, or you can even put your hands on stacked up hardback books, or if you can reach the floor, that's where your hands go. So now let's inhale, make sure you turned your toes out. Exhale, bend your left knee. And then inhale, center. Exhale, bend your right knee. Let's keep going back and forth. Now on your bending knee side, make sure the knee bends in the direction of the center of the foot. Don't let your knees collapse inward, especially as you bend. And that keeps the knee joint safer. One more now. And then we come to the center. Now your feet are turned out. Go to the center, make your feet parallel with one another. So turn your toes straight ahead toward where I am. And then again, using your elevated surface if you need to, let's inhale, lift the chest just a little bit. And then exhale, hinge down. Let's try that again. Inhale, lift partially up. Exhale, hinge down. We have two more. So see if you can make sure this is coming from the fronts of your hips and not just from your back rounding and straightening. We're trying to keep the back neutral and straight if we can. Now we inhale, walk with your hands back around to the front of your mat and step both feet back into downward facing dog. Let's pick up the right foot now. You can sweep it up behind you if you like. Bend your knee, look forward, step forward. All right, and then we'll flatten out our back foot. Now, my back will be to you just for a moment. Your back might be to me too, so you might want to turn around so you can see me better. Front knee is bent. Arms come out in line with the shoulders. Turn your front palm up now. Inhale, and as we exhale, we're straightening the front leg and doing a little side bend here. Let's do that again. Inhale. You can turn your palm down. And then exhale, turn your palm up. Straighten your front leg. Two more. Bend. And as you exhale, straighten. And one more time. Now let's stay in the side bend for a moment with both legs straight. And if you need some support for your torso, put your left hand on your hip. That's your back hand. It goes on your hip. And then we'll bend the front knee and we'll come down. Stepping back into downward facing dog. And then pick up your left leg. You may want to sweep it up behind you if it feels good. And then look forward and step forward. Flatten out your back foot. Come on up. Starting like warrior two. Level out your pelvis. Stretch your arms out. Now turn your front palm up. Inhale. Exhale, lean back. Straighten your front leg. Little side bend. And do it again. Each time you bend your front knee, it doesn't go beyond your front ankle, and it doesn't collapse in. So if your knee's collapsing in, direct it out so it's over your ankle. Exhaling as you side bend. Inhaling as you start back in warrior two. Last one. All right, now we take the hands to the front of the mat. Then we step back into downward facing dog. Pressing both heels down. See if you can reach them closer to the ground without moving your hands any closer to your feet. Now right leg goes up, sweep it up if you want to. Bend your knee as you exhale. Step your right foot all the way forward. Now we're in a lunge. We have fingertips down or fists or using your blocks like I said a moment ago. As we exhale now, bring your hips to the center of your mat. Keep them there and then begin to straighten your front leg. This time we're going to maintain the straight front leg for a moment or two as we breathe. Now if you want to create more challenge for your balance, take one hand and reach it back. Take both hands and reach them back if you want even more challenge. Turn your palms down toward the floor with the palms. So one hand down or both hands down is also a great option here. All right, let's bend the front knee. Take your hands down. Step back into downward facing dog. And then it's the left leg's turn to step forward. Stay on the tiptoes of your back foot. Inhale, and then exhale, begin to straighten your front leg. So remember, your hips are in the center. In other words, don't let them sweep out to the side. Now sink into this juicy hamstring stretch. Stay here. One hand back, maybe. Both hands back, maybe. Palms facing down if you can. See if you can find a neutral or straight position with your head and neck. All right, bend your front knee, take your hands down. Now we're stepping the front foot back and the back foot forward a little bit. Standing forward fold. So soften your knees, release your neck. Let your hands come down right under your shoulders. And then if you're able to, place one, maybe both hands on the backs of your calves, shoulders away from the ears. See if you can turn your tailbone up a little bit higher now. Maybe make your heels a little heavier. Make sure you don't lose your balance though. Is your neck still relaxed? All right, hands down. Let's step into child's pose now. Remember the wider knee stacked fist option if you need it. All right, let's come up. Now we'll bring the legs in front of us. Let's start with the soles of the feet together. If your knees are up, consider sitting up on a pillow, a cushion, a folded blanket, something like that. Your folded towel works well. This is also a great time to quickly grab a drink of water. If you need your feet to be further forward in order for your knees to drop, then bring your feet further forward. And then we'll lean forward, hinging from the hips. As you feel your body giving you some space, take up that space by maybe moving the heels in closer to you, maybe a little closer, maybe not. See how it works. If you want your hands behind you to help you lean forward for this cobbler's pose, feel free to do that. All right, now we're sitting up. Let's extend the right leg forward. The left foot hugs in against the inner thigh. And then square yourself towards your straight leg. Let's inhale, reach the arms up. And on the exhale, your arms precede your torso, coming forward and down. Now, if you feel like you're back here because your hamstrings are a little bit tight, that's okay. This is a great practice for you. But in order for you to come forward, you may need to put a bend in your straight leg, and that's okay. So make sure you do it if that's what it takes to get you forward. Relax your shoulders. Keep flexing your foot so we can involve some of our lower leg muscles in the stretch. Now let's help ourselves up from there. Soles of the feet together. Left leg straight. Flex your foot, square up to your straight leg. Bend your knee if you need to. Inhale. Exhale, arms first, and then torso. So notice where your shoulders are located right now in relation to your ears. Can you relax them away from your ears? That's optimal. Try to do that if you can. All right, and then we're coming up. And we're going to lie all the way down. That's our next stop. So ease yourself down. If you would like to put your towel over your eyes toward the end, then have that within arm's reach. Once you're all the way down, just like we did at the very beginning, draw your knees in towards your chest. Place your hands behind your thighs. Keep your shoulders still. And rock from side to side. So we paid a lot of attention to the backs of our legs, and we're not done. All right, coming back to center. Left foot on the floor, right leg up. Hold the back of your leg, flex your foot, pull your leg in as close as you can, and straighten it as much as you can. So have a nice balance of both straightness and pulling toward you. Relax your shoulders. Now keep your right leg here and see how it feels to straighten out your left leg. That's going to change what's happening in your pelvis, which will change how the stretch feels to your body. Now stay here. This is your right leg that's up. Take your left hand and press it into your left thigh. Make sure your left leg is as straight as you can get it. Now take your right hand on the outside of your right leg. We did a little bit of this in the warm-up. Keep flexing your foot. Turn your toes out a little bit and let your leg fall out to the side. Just enough to initiate some stretch in your inner thigh as well as your hamstrings on your right leg. Meanwhile, left hand is still pressing down into the left thigh. Stay here. Now our goal is not to let the leg drop down to the floor. Our goal is to keep the stretch. So push out through your heel, and if it feels good, draw your toes further back. But make it right for you. And then we twist. So this right knee is bending, the right foot is resting against the left thigh, and we guide the knee across. Your right arm comes out as a counterbalance for the twist. And then support your knee from underneath with your hand. If you can get your right foot down on the floor comfortably, then do that. Now you can look to the left, or you can look up, or you can look to the right if that's not too much for your neck. Can you feel the spinal twist? Can you feel stretch in the front of your right shoulder? Can you feel the hip stretch in your outer and rear right hip? Let's see if you notice those things. Let's help our leg back to the center. We'll start on the other side now. So right foot on the floor, left leg up, as straight as you can make it, and then hold on to it. Stay here. Your head is down, both your shoulders are down, both hips are down. We're almost finished. Try not to skip the stretches. They're every bit as important as any other part of our fitness. Now stretch your right leg out along the floor. Keep flexing your foot. Keep inviting that stretch all throughout the back of your leg. Now your hand goes to the outside of your leg, and we let the leg drop out with the right hand pressing into the right thigh. Stay here. Remember, the goal is not to let the leg drop down to the floor. The goal is to keep the stretch. So pull the toes back. If you're able to rest your elbow on the floor, you'll do that. You can hold further up here above your knee, or down lower below your knee. What feels best for you? Now let's twist. So bend, foot rests, at least at first, on the thigh, and we twist, keep the shoulder anchored, and then your hand goes underneath your knee to support it. See how that feels. If you're able to comfortably put your left foot on the floor. Now, where do you point your face so your neck is comfortable? Deep breaths. All right, let's help our knee back to the center. Now separate your feet, bend your knees, turn your toes in, and let your knees lean against one another. Just for a moment. Shoulders away from ears, covering your eyes for just a moment with your towel if you want to. Place your hands on your abdomen and feel the breathing from the inside as well as from the outside. All right, and then let your eyes open. Let's carefully turn over onto our side, and then we'll press ourselves up and come to a seated position. So how do you feel now? I hope you feel more mobile and flexible and a little looser in your lower body, especially your hamstrings. So thank you for being here with me. Thank yourself for being here and taking some time out just for you. I'll see you next time.